When Boris Johnson was elected mayor in 2008, he set himself 3 major targets when it came to the environment. But now, figures from City Hall have revealed that the Mayor of London is set to come up short on every single one. The first major target is CO2 emissions. The Mayor pledged to reduce these by 17% by 2015. So far, there's only been an 11% reduction, the equivalent of 15 million tonnes of CO2 in the capital's atmosphere. Another failed target is air pollution, with levels exceeding the legal limit every year. The Mayor promised to meet the legal limit by 2020, but new evidence shows it won't be met until 2025 at the latest, with 1 million Londoners being exposed to illegal amounts of pollution every year. And the third, recycling, hasn't been met either. The Assembly's Environment Committee says despite the Mayor's best efforts, a new environmental strategy is desperately needed.
The Mayor's to be congratulated in terms of the work he's done in promoting cycling and finally getting some decent cycling infrastructure in place. And we think some bolder, more ambitious plans for the Ultra Low Emission Zone that the current Mayor announced, some bolder, more ambitious plans need to come forward for that, as this committee has been recommended. Otherwise, we'll carry on failing to meet our legal obligations in terms of air quality.
With a growing population, the failure of these targets could have massive implications for the future, like a shortage of drinkable water, unreliable energy supplies, and contaminated flooding caused by sewage overflow.
So with so many targets not met and so much pollution and waste predicted for the future, what does this mean for Londoners' quality of life? And what sort of job does it leave for the future Mayor of London?
There are 1 million people exposed to unhealthy levels of nitrogen dioxide, a generation of school kids, and we don't want that problem. And we will tackle the tens of thousands, because it is really only about tens of thousands of diesel vehicles, not cars in general, but diesel vehicles coming into the most polluted places. That's what we need to do. We need to fix this toxic legacy, and that's what the next election, or this election, ought to be about.
So with Londoners facing increased pollution, with stark predictions for the future, Boris Johnson's successor will be left with some very tough decisions when it comes to the capital's environment.